listeners. You're in IT in Spain podcast right now again. Thank you so much for joining us today. And don't forget to put some likes, comments, and subscribe to our channel, as my producer told me to remind every time. So my name is 𝐉𝐞𝐽. I'm IT specialist with more than 10 years of experience around the world as well, in Latin America, in Europe, in Russia, and a lot of other countries. Today with us, Fernando. Fernando.
Hello, how are you?
Hello. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. ¿Qué tal?
Spanish.
So, as I'm always saying, the best way to introduce the guest is to turn microphone for the guest. So, Fernanda, please introduce yourself. Tell us something about your path, some interesting stories. Maybe you even can open like some scenes that were closed before that or were hidden behind the scene. So, before the meeting, we also had a talk with Fernanda, and we agreed that we will not montage this anyhow, so everything that you will be saying will be here. So, Fernanda, your turn.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for considering me as a guest in your podcast. Well, a little bit about myself. My name is Fernando. I work as a director in an agency located in Spain called 𝐉𝐞𝐽 Executive. And I'm managing the IT practice in Madrid in this case, but I live in the south. I live in Malaga, and well, I have many stories that I can share with you, but most of them probably are not allowed to share. So taking this in a professional way, well, my job for the last year has been like helping my company to develop their operations in Spain. Once they got big in Italy, where they come from, and then they landed in Spain. There has been like 2 years, very fun, I would say, fighting against the market, against the whole things that are happening in the world today. So we will talk about this later, I guess, but it's impossible to get bored in this, specifically in this, when you're doing my job. So happy to share with you all the things you wanna ask me.
But before we start, basically we have some kind of thesis that we would like to discuss, of course. But one thing I would like to highlight a bit about your experience, like how you appeared here, let's say, how you not end up, of course, but just tell us a bit your story, like your background, like how you found yourself in professional way, what helps you to develop personally, that also always influence professional way, professional working. So just give us a bit more story about yourself.
Okay, well, my story is so simple. I mean, I started working in my industry at the end of 2013, and at the time I was living in Liverpool, trying to learn some English. So complicated stuff, especially in Liverpool. But by the time I was living there and studying there, I received a call from my future company called Robert Walters. Robert Walters were at the time was growing a lot in Spain, and I became the 17th person joining the brand in Spain. And from that very moment until 2020, it was like a love story, because the company got bigger. All of us working there, we got, more experienced consultants, promoted with many options of working here and there. And I took the option to apply to an international opening in San Francisco in the States. And I went there. Previously, all the pandemic stuff. So once I came back to Spain, I joined another company called, at the time, 𝐉𝐞𝐽𝐽 Clark, now is 𝐿HH Executive. And the story was kind of the same. They were like building up from the ground up the brand in Spain. It was more or less my second time doing the same. And I spent there like 3 years. Very fun 3 years. And then after that, last year, again, W was starting operations here. All co-workers from my period in working at Robert Walters joined the brand. The managing director called me for joining the project, and after some hesitation, I did it. So if you think about it, well, I like to be at the very beginning of stuff. It's hard, it's not easy, but it's fun.
What do you like most of? Why do you like this thing? I mean, like, what is exciting for you?
Exciting for
being
me?
the first, being the first. I don't know, 17. You said,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
I don't know, 13, 20th employer.
yeah. I mean, the thing is that if you compare myself with me 10 years, 11, 12 years ago, it has nothing to do. The thing is that somehow, speaking more seriously, somehow you know what is going on, what is going to happen in the next stage, and then in the next stage again, you already know what is going to happen, and then of course you made mistakes as an individual and as a company, but at the very beginning you have the possibility of create something, of create. I mean, the business is so simple, it is what it is, but the possibility of creating an environment with people, like everyone working as a family and so on, is complicated to get it in another when you have another different size.
Agree.
That's it.
Yeah, I know. Look, this is really not. I wouldn't say that this is typical or not, because I'm not very familiar with the Spanish market, and hope you will bring some light to this picture as well. Moreover, I would say that this is still not very typical from my experience. To people travel a lot, so many countries, moving back and forward from England to US. So you have rather crazy experience, I would say. If I will not work by myself in Latin America as well. But okay, Fernando, we are here to talk about you. So let's start with a very small thing, maybe a small overview of recruitment agencies in Spain, like how they work actually. What you can say about labor market and recruitment market as well in Spain, from both sides, from employer sides and from employee side?
Well, my industry, the recruitment market in Spain, in my opinion, there are many options in the Spanish market these days. That's a fact, and you can see that, well, as a positive or a negative thing. But the reality is that besides all the main agencies with a solid track record and history in Spain since the probably 80s or even before, some of them, there have emerged new players with, let's say, more or less financial capacity. As I told you before, my own company, or not, it's not mine, but the company I work for is one of them. It emerged 2 years ago, as I told you, and I do know that we are very well baked financially, but there are many others. We will see. Time will tell us if all these new players, including ourselves, have come to stay or not. And then you can also find many freelancers as well, especially in the IT industry, curiously. And if you ask me for a place, for a location, I would say Barcelona. I don't know why, but it's my perception. And especially again in the IT practice, at least it happens to me. I find like competing over and over again with competitors with the UK directly, sometimes from the US, which makes all the stuff this even more complicated. Many people, but well, at the end, I think that competition is good. Good news here is that if you're a client and you're looking for partnering with any agency, you have many options. Sometimes a lot of noise as well, but many options. Now you have to choose carefully what you want.
But if we talk about what are the main drivers for this market in Spain, in some local comunidades like Malaga, like Barcelona, like Madrid as well, San Sebastian, like what are the main drivers?
The main drivers for the candidate,
for development of these recruitment agencies, for development of this market, like what drives it?
Yeah, in order to open in operations, if I understood, I think if the market is like let's say flexible and fresh, and there are many options, there is a place for agencies. And from my perspective, if one of the big ones know that their main competitor is in this city or in this other city, I have to be there as well. That's more or less now that's the way I think the big boys decide where to land. And most importantly, you have to have the right person for doing it. If not, well, the cemetery is full of projects with no success for whatever reason. Not picking the right person.
Yeah, specifically with executive role, you have a really high probability of the high cost of mistake, I would say. You pay the higher price for this. One thing that is interesting for me also, what you told about, Fernando, a bit drivers, but let's go from another side. What companies right now, the companies actually looking nowadays for executive level of candidates in Spain? It could be a Spanish company as well. It could be UK companies and etc. But could you just give a ballpark picture, like very high level one?
Well, my field of expertise is closer to an executive level more than if you want entry level of middle management. But anyway, at that level, today companies, especially in the technology industry, which is my field of expertise, are looking for executive profiles that I would say beyond technical expertise and sector knowledge, they bring to the table a clear strategic vision and the ability, especially these days, the ability to anticipate to emerging trends. So there is a real search of leaders capable of driving a real digital transformation, and I would say that additionally, candidates with excellent communication skills are also very much required. And finally, another topic, the flexibility leaders who are flexible for adapting to constant change. Again, in these days, I would say short-term changes and make quick decisions and take calculated risks in this uncertain environment these days. So as you can imagine, it's easy to say, it's not easy to find.
But who is looking for them? I understand that you are looking for them, but or what are the typical companies that looking for this kind of leaders right now? Like what? I don't ask you to call the names, but it's more like typical profile. Like what company for whom you can have a search, and what is valuable. I understand flexibility and change management and transformation, some experience, etc. So, why shall I search for candidate in Spain, particularly if, for example, my operations are not in Spain, or why one way or another?
Well, from my experience, you have to think of, let's say, two different kind of companies that are looking for the kind of candidates that I already told you before. Technology companies, I mean, vendors, wholesalers, IT resellers, blah, blah, blah. Even though they are not located in Spain, the headquarters, they have small, medium, big teams in Spain, mostly selling their technology. So there is a huge range of profiles, since more junior candidates working as BDRs, SDRs, junior account executives, blah, 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 to VP of sales for EMEA, for example. No? All those candidates can be located in Spain perfectly, and not just working for the country, but from a bigger area as EMEA, or I don't know, Southern Europe or whatever. Those are the technology companies that I usually work the most. Then, on the other hand, you have companies for whatever industry, retail, FMCG, luxury, whatever. They work thanks to technology, so they have departments of technology, leading by a CIO, CTO, head of IT. That kind of profiles are as well becoming more and more strategic, thanks to this digital transformation I mentioned, and all the stuff that is happening with the AI, and that it seems like everyone wants to apply from one day to another. Well, this is technology as well. So I wouldn't know what kind of, if you ask me what kind of industry is hiring more candidates like this or like that, I don't know. I just have my experience in which is, my opinion is just a tiny part of the whole picture, because as I told you before, there are many people doing the same these days in Spain.
But why shall I hire someone in Spain? Like, what benefits it brings to employee and employer as well? Like, why? I know the answer for myself, but Fernando, tell me, because look, I'm a bit biased. I'm learning Spanish for 3 years. I living here. I love Spain, but look, maybe there are other reasons that I am not covering.
Why do you have to hire someone in Spain? Well, I would ask you, do you need to hire someone in Spain? That's the first question I would say. Then, if you have to, I would say the talent is here. So you can take it or not. If you don't take it, probably your competitors are going to do it. So we have the talent, we have the places, we have the infrastructure, many things in the labor market, which are pretty good. Actually, more and more companies are opening operations and even some headquarters in many places in Spain, not just Madrid or Barcelona. So if you're thinking about it, let me know later. I can help you probably.
Perfect. So let's speak in particular about Malaga. We know that Malaga is Spain's underdog tech city. It's not very famous, but you
Not
have a
famous.
lot of things. It's not very famous like Barcelona, let's say, or even sometimes I hear Valencia more than Malaga, but not only because of the recent disasters, but the thing is, what you can say about Malaga in terms of like tech city, why it is beneficial for tech professionals and tech companies to move there.
Well, this is for me. This is a really good question, and I love when somebody asks me about this, because by the time I left Malaga, like 13, 14 years ago, this was a completely different place in all the stuff you can see around yourself, and now it's like it's another city, to be honest. So, answering your question, it is true that Malaga has experienced like a impressive growth in recent years, and this is a fact. Especially previous pandemic, since 2019, 2018, more than 100 foreign companies has chosen Malaga to establish, as I told you before, headquarters or expand their operations. And this is a figure which is official. This created with the since 2018, 2019, as I told you, more than 8,000 jobs. 8,000 jobs is a lot, especially in a city which is not super big, like Madrid or London or whatever. So this is a lot, and with the time, you can realize that all these new jobs, mostly related with technology, but with other industries as well, is like a wheel. It's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. There are many iconic projects already landed in Malaga. For example, the 2 years ago, Google opened its cybersecurity center of excellence. So you can imagine, for many people, for the first time, Malaga was in the map. Not just Google. Malaga also became a home of Vodafone's European R&D Center, which is, again, it's big. There is another German company called DEKRA, very good one, that hosts a global technology hub in Malaga. And then, I don't know, the list is so big. Other companies like Oracle, Ericsson, EY, Accenture, NTT Data, Globant, blah, 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 that have decided to open centers here related to cybersecurity, R&D, or just operational. So you can imagine how big is this.
But how Malaga can compete with Barcelona, Madrid, Valencia, other cities? Just I'm provoking you a bit, but I want to bring some light to Malaga, because I really like the city, and actually it's very interesting that in Malaga you don't feel so much humidity. It's very strange. Like when I was in Malaga, it was a bit different feeling. Maybe it was different there, I don't know. But in Barcelona, for example, you feel like it's very humid.
Oh, really?
But Malaga for me was a bit untypical seaside town or city, I would say.
There is humidity here. Probably not in Barcelona. There is more humidity. I don't know. I'm not an expert in humidity, but but
for me it's important after my living in Panama. So this is my this my trauma. So
so you asked me about competing with other cities, and this is a very good point, because as many things are happening here, that are happening as well in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Valencia, and I don't think it is about competing with other cities. It's complementing the offering that Spain offers to the rest of the world in terms of capacity of host all these super big projects with super big technology companies. So it's not about competing. I know that, and I know this, particularly in Malaga, the collaboration between the public sector and the private sector has been success. Also, you have more than 300 days per year of sun here. So that is a competition. You see? That is a real competition.
Okay. Okay, sounds appealing. But okay, we were talking about market. We were talking about, of course, the story at the beginning. We were talking about cities where to work and where to hire in Spain. But let's talk also about another topic. It will be maybe clickbait as well. Like what kind of red flags you may see in the resume or in CV of a candidate for leadership role? What kind of triggers you see that we're talking about red flags, but of course it's not like something bad. It's more like about we can rephrase this. It's more about key factors that influence success of this kind of candidate in your selection process. And one more thing, we're talking about change management, leaderships, like transformation, etc. But what maybe some key points also, like from personality, from professional side, that helps a candidate to be a proper candidate for leadership role in Spain in particular?
The main point here is to find the right person at the right time. So you usually do a job briefing with your client, and they try to tell you about the idealistic candidate. Most of the times that candidate probably doesn't exist, but you have to find it, and then you have to land all the information and let the client know that how is the market moving and what kind of people are available these days for a specific role, and so on. So when you given some guidance of what the client is looking for, mostly in managerial or director level or C-level roles, there is for me something really big related to personality and the feeling that they feel with the client when they meet. So okay, you are C whatever, so you already have this experience, you have been through this kind of problems, you have managed this kind of teams. Okay, that's already, I mean, we know this, but are you aligned with the company? Are you aligned with the values of the company, with the culture? Do you have this feeling with this CIO, which is going to be, by the way, your boss for the next whatever years? So it's more, that's the way I see it. It's more from a personal perspective, more than it's more related to soft skills, more than a particular experience, which is important as well, or a particular situation lived in the past or whatever. I don't know if I answered your question.
You answered for sure, but look, it's interesting, Fernando, because it's interesting for me, like how you develop in yourself this kind of soft skills. Like, what do you think? What could be kind of advice for people who's struggling right now to become like executive role or to land like more leadership role in their professional life? What helps, in your opinion, just based on your experience, for professionals to develop those soft skills?
If I have to choose, I would go to. If you remember, I told you about communication, about leadership. I mean, it's communication, leadership, and I don't know if there is some specific, I don't know, training or master or postgrad or something related to this flexibility in the capacity of making quick decisions in this environment, which is changing. I won't say every day, but at that level, but probably every month with changes with everything. So I would go for that communication, leadership, and the capacity of changing very quick in order to not to go behind your competition, and also not to be out of the game.
You haven't provided us with exact advice, but direction is clear. So, Fernanda, maybe it's not the last question, but I would say that at some point we will need to finish the podcast, but we can finish it without, of course, recalling recent AI trends and HR and recruitment. Like, how do you think AI will influence recruitment agencies, recruitment jobs? How candidates that prepare a lot of CV and CL with AI as well affects the market. So, what do you think? What do you think about that?
Well, okay, so the CV for me is something like honestly, it's okay. You have to get ready a CV for a resume for applying to jobs and everything. The more completed, the better. I mean, but not having a CV of 5 pages, like writing down everything you did in 1991. It's like, so it's more about like your LinkedIn profile. It's more about keywords. It's more about, but don't tell me what the company does. What do you do in the company, working at the company? That kind of things. So the CV is all right, but for me, at least, and in my opinion, it's not it's not determinant in terms of moving forward with one candidate or rejecting a candidate. It's just one more help you have for evaluating anybody. This said, so the HR environment, my own environment is the AI is transforming everything around all the automatization of processes without the real value actually in your daily work. So that is a transformation, and that somehow it's helping us to all the job faster and faster and faster. There are many emerging companies related to the HR tech that are giving the companies these tools for recruitment, for training, for educational stuff, compensation, and so on. So the way of taking advantage of that, the way agencies are taking advantage of that, is to realize what do you really need and for what, and to take it or develop it. But if you don't know what for, you are going to implement a technology, AI stuff in your selection process or training process or whatever, you're lost. That's my opinion.
Fernando, it sounds interesting. One thing I wanted to ask as follow-up question: what kind of manual or routine tasks that you were talking about you are referring to? Like what is automated already, or what could be easily automated from your perspective?
Well, for me, the probably is the if somebody in 1 year time listen to me to say this now, it's gonna sound very old fashioned and nonsense. But I remember the task that took me tons of time every single day was simply to take notes with my pen and my notebook and writing every single stuff that the candidate was telling me for 1 hour. As you can imagine, you were not able to pay special attention. You lost information and so on. So the main task automated these days is for sure to the transcription of the conversation. I can be focused on you. I can be focused on asking you the right questions, and I'm letting the technology to transcribe for me all the conversation that I'm gonna use later on for whatever I need in terms of creating a report, having information about you for future processes, and so on. That's the main task for me, automated these days in our job. And then from the sales perspective, there are many other stuff, but if I tell you everything I know, we will have a problem.
For sure, Fernanda, you will be really surprised, but this was something I was thinking about because my wife is headhunter in the past, and I remember how she made these notes, and now you can really do it automatically, and that's amazing, and that was the only thing I was thinking about. Fernando, many thanks for your time, and given that this will be the last question, let's put it very seriously. What kind of books maybe, or some articles, or some information that caught your attention that you would like to share with us? Maybe even some restaurant in Malaga, potentially.
You mentioned a book.
A book.
Yeah. So I have with me a book called From Good to Great that I already bought back in San Francisco, and I like to read it from time to time, and because I find it very interesting. I highly recommend the book. I don't remember the who wrote it, but
but it's a very well-known book. I also recommend it. I read it, and that's fantastic. And it's part of history. It's part of business, part of culture, knowledge, and some cases.
All the books. All the book is full of different chapters with different histories about how some companies reinvented themselves because something was coming, something new was coming, like is happening today probably, and I find it very interesting.
Thank you, Fernanda. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you for being with us. And dear listeners, don't forget to put like, subscribe, and leave the comment if you like this format or not. Fernanda, many thanks. Que tengas buen fin de día.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.